Hi, this is a beginner to HTML and CSS. I'm going to start with using Notepad. So that won't be used throughout all of my videos, but for the first few we'll be using Notepad, which you can download for free. We're going to start with a very basic web page, which includes a doc type, the HTML tag with an end HTML just to tell the browser that it's HTML, a head section and the body section. Just a quick summary of those. So the head section includes the title, which will appear here, and the character set, and the body section is going to display whatever appears in this white content area. So let's get started. First thing we'll do is we'll type in a basic web page. So that is doc type with the exclamation mark at the beginning and HTML. Then we need to indicate that it is a HTML file, and I always do the end tags to make sure that I do not forget them. And you need the head section, you need the body section, and the end body tag. Inside here you will have the title, and I'm just going to call it Elaine's web page for now. That'll do for now. It's just for a demonstration. This site isn't going to look fantastic, but it's purely being used to help you to learn how to do a basic web page. I'm going to do this as if I'm a student, so I'm going to list my units. I've used heading level 1, that's a number 1, not an L. Some people do actually make that mistake. A heading level 2, use H2 if necessary. So in order, so here are my units in order. I wouldn't normally have those headings. And then I'm going to have a paragraph at the bottom. So just to say Comtech is in semester 1, which I'm not entirely sure if that's true, but this is just a demonstration. Then you need to save this and make sure it's all good. So let's just go to the week that I want to save this in, and here it is. I want to make sure I choose HTML for this file, so I'm going to pick it from this list here. If I couldn't find it easily, then you could just choose all file types and call it demo.html. So that could be whatever you want. I've called it demo. So you should see now that the file exists in this folder and it has a HTML extension, and you can see the color coding changing as well. So if I double click on that, it will open it in whatever the default browser is, or I can launch it in Internet Explorer, which is what it's done now. So I'll move that across and resize it, and I'll just leave it there in the corner so that it can be constantly refreshed every time we make a change. So I like to develop in this way with the Notepad and the website just to the right or the left. I'm now going to make a list. Now you make a list either using ordered list, which is numbered list, or unordered list, which is a bullet list. Make sure you do the end tag so you don't forget that. So the end tag has a / there, and less than and greater than, and the start tag does not have the /. And then we'll do some list items, which will be your modules, web project, I can't spell, slow down I say. I'm going to do another list item. So each unordered or ordered list has a series of list items. I'll put Comtech in there as well, communication technology, that'll do. I'll just abbreviate it, and we shall have another one. I'll just put this down. So this is just an example, and that is a fully defined list with the unordered list tags, and each list item has a start and an end. Make sure that's the case. and refresh in here so you can see it's there. Now while we're here, I just want to check this web page because we want to make sure it's valid before we do too much. Eventually you will get used to this, so you won't need to keep checking. So I'm going to go to W3C validator, and you can enter the URL, but I don't have one. I could upload the file, or I could use direct input. So I'm going to Control V, and my web page is in there, and press check. You can do this for your CSS as well, so I have no errors. If I'd missed something, say the end tag there, and checked, I should get a problem. It seems to be happy with it, which isn't great really. Let me check it again. Let me do that. Go back to the beginning and just change the one of these. So I've missed off this, for example, and check. It seems to be thinking that it's all great, so in some cases it's not picking up. Let me put that back in anyway, but do be careful that you've missed the start and end. What it's done is it's probably taken this as the end for that and not really caused a problem, but do make sure that you have your code valid. And make sure. Okay, so you can see there is an error there, and it's giving you a bad character and so on and so forth, but it's telling you where it is, so you can go and have a look. Right, I wanted to make sure there was an error there, so do make sure your code is fully well formed and to a high standard. It does a lot better in terms of accessibility and things like the search engines, they rate them higher. So save as HTML, make sure that you launch it. You can use the run command, or you can just double click from the folder. And a quick summary of what each line does is just here. You can pause and have a little look at that. Okay, so that's referring to those lines there. Now I've done some list items, ordered lists, heading, levels and various other things, so that's following this little example of a web page, and we can actually use W3 Schools to get a lot more help on creating HTML. So we're going to now move on to styling very quickly. So the first thing we're going to do is you can actually add it to your web page in the head section, so we're going to do that. So you need to use the tag names where there are tag names. So out of the three methods for including CSS into your web page, we have an external CSS, we have embedded internal, and we have inline. So actually the first one I'm going to do is the embedded. So let's go to that, and also need to find my other file and get all my files ready. Okay, so we're going to make a CSS to style the, so we're going to add a style, and we're going to make a CSS to style the paragraphs, the headers and the unordered list, and we're going to place it inside as an embedded style sheet. So I'm going to choose the tag for heading 1 first, and we don't need to press return, we can put it all on one line if we wish to, or we can have it a series of styles underneath. I'll do it like this. I'm going to change the colour of heading 1 to red. This doesn't really matter, it's again just a demonstration. I'm going to change, it's American spelling, so make sure you do this, and I'm going to change my paragraphs to the colour. Now if I put that in there, let me just show you this. I'll put that as green, so you'll see I should have heading 1 red, heading 2 as blue, and paragraphs as green. So I'll run that in Internet Explorer, resize it because it keeps opening it up in a different place. I'll put that there, and I'll keep refreshing that because I lost track of it. Okay, so there it is. So you can see that it hasn't done this one, it hasn't done the paragraph, this one here. So I'll need to change that to back to American, and then you'll see it now is green. So that's how you can style within the same web page. Another way you can style, which is referred to in this document, is externally. So we will link to an external style sheet. So we'll put those styles into a file, say for example style.css, and we will link to it. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to create a file called style and then link to it in the HTML. So back to Notepad, just minimize that and create a new one, and then I'm going to do a paragraph styling, color. I'll do this as, I don't know, hopefully there's purple, H1, I'm doing all the same styles again, color purple as well, and heading 2, color as purple. You will find that there is an order in which it processes styling. So I'll just do one for the main body, and I'll give that a background color. Now all of these you can get from, let's cut to that pink, awful, I know. So all of this stuff you can get from W3 Schools, so I'll show you that shortly. So I'm going to save that as a CSS file, as mentioned. So the easiest way to do that is if you can find CSS straight away, great. Otherwise just go to the top, choose all files, do not choose text. Style.css is what I'm going to call it. In that area you'll see it now appear, there it is. And then you need to link to that file, so we need to say link rel, I'm just going to say it's a style sheet, and hypertext reference equals style.css, because it is in the same folder. I don't need to do anything else there. And what you'll see is some of these are still exactly the same, green, blue and red, because they've taken on these styles, but you will get your body pink. Okay, now if I was to take away this style here, Control X and refresh, you will see that it does actually take on the style sheet styles. Okay, so just going to store those for a moment in here so I don't lose them. And the other thing is you can style straight on the tag, so you can actually, let me go back to the document just to keep it nice and structured for you. So that's embedded, external, and then inline. So inline is where you style it with the tag. So you just do style equals and then the quotes. Now beware that the quotes might not be the correct ones when you copy them across. That's the other thing I wanted to actually show you. So if you're copying code from a document, do make sure that you actually change these quotes. So that's important, and that's why I went to the document to show you, because you're probably going to be copying code from various places. Okay, so now I've said I want that to be blue, so I'm using my external style sheet. I've got my paragraph as purple, as you can see there, but I'm now saying I want it to be blue by using inline styling on that tag. Refresh, there you go, it is now blue. So as you can see, let's not have that one, let's put this stuff back in. As you can see, when you're using three types of styling in your web page, which might happen when you use these editors like Microsoft Expression, they often put styles in the actual document. So you've already got yourself a style sheet from a template, you then get all of this in the document as well, so there could be a conflict. You may also find that when you're copying code off websites, you know, just for inclusion in your web page to improve it, you may find that you also have styling in line, so you've got to check that there's no conflict. So here you go, this is now taken on the style of the tag, inline tag. So now it's purple, so it's always taken this one on, as you can see. I won't put green there because that's no use to us really, that's not going to help. I'll put black because pink wouldn't have worked either. Okay, so you can see now that's an example of how to put inline styling, how to put embedded or internal styling, and how to have external styling. If you have external styling, remember that this must refer to the exact file. So if you have it in a folder, for example CSS, and then we move this into a folder here, so let's make a new folder called CSS, and we place that into there. We need to make sure we, let's say no to that. We'll open up this CSS file from here. You can copy it and drag it across. So now we have it referring to one in a folder. It's still fine. If we didn't put that folder in there, then you won't get your CSS. You'll just get the internal and the inline styling. Okay, so that's an example of that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the bullet points of this ordered list. But first of all, let me show you this as an unordered list, so numbered list. It's O for ordered list. Just think it's in order, and remember O, ordered list. And let me just show you what that looks like in comparison. So you can see you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've got the bullet points there. I'm going to take the bullet points away by using my style sheet. I'll do it in here just for ease, but you would do this in your external style sheet. Unordered list. Now that this is correctly formed, list style type. So list style type none. So get rid of the circle. Again, you can get all of this off W. So they've gone. The other thing that you want to do is probably make this into a menu. So put some links and make it into a menu. So what you can do there is make each item, so of the unordered list, displayed in line. Display. That puts them all on the same line. So I'll show you that. There you have it. And then for each list item you can actually give it a background colour. Now you can see the help there, so if you just click on that, and I'll have that as white or blue. Actually, let's put it blue. It look horrible, but it doesn't matter. Again, let's just quickly see what we've done. So that's that, and then I'll make the text colour white. Again, I always like to have a little look, make sure everything I'm doing works. Doesn't take a minute, and it's all squished up to the side, so I'm going to pad it. So use padding. Now this is entering into the box model, so I'm going to do 2 EMs, 2 letter M's, which is responsive according to the default. That is huge, so we're not going to have that. 1 EM, and just experiment. Okay, so I'll have it as 1 letter M. The default letter M. Now I haven't got a default body size set, so it doesn't really know what to do that as right now. So normally you would have the font size for the whole of the web page set. To make a link, so let's just imagine we wanted a link to go to W3 schools. Obviously we would have that as a probably as in a different place to this list of units. So anchor hypertext referenced equals HTTP, because you're going externally. You can't miss off the HTTP if you're going externally. w3schools.com / end the quotes, that's the tag, and then we need an end the tag for anchor here. So we've put a link inside the list item, and now you'll see it's here. Looks horrendous, I realise, and I'm going to just put that as 2 pixels padding because it's a little bit big. We don't want it to be that big. And then there it is. And then what I'm going to do is take you to that website, and you'll see that with this you have learn HTML, learn CSS, and what I'm going to do is show you how to, just one thing that is quite useful really, and that is to look at how to do various things. So CSS links, let's see how to style the links so that they're different colours when you hover over them. So here are some examples. You can have different styles for the different events. So I'm going to take this and put this bit of code into my CSS, which I can put at the top here. Make sure it's all neat, so edit, indent, increase. You can actually use tab, and I'll just leave them as they are for now, and I'll go back to my web page, which was, there it is, and then you'll see it's got some strange sort of, so the link itself was, because it's been used, it's green because it's been visited, so it's here. When you hover over it, it's pink, and when it's active it's blue. Now the other thing is that you might want to make this not overwrite your current website page, so you can do target equals blank with proper formed, and then you refresh that, so when it does open it, it goes into a different area. So you can see I've got both now. So use this W3 Schools, it's your dictionary. You won't learn and remember absolutely everything. There's tutorials, there's examples, and then there's learn HTML. So if you want to know how to do a link, add an image, all sorts of different things, lists, there's our lists, it's all in there. Examples, try it yourself. So it's absolutely ideal. It just shows you exactly how to do a little list, which is what we've just done, and there it is. So you don't want to think that you need to learn and understand absolutely all of this, because you have got this lovely reference to refer back to. Okay, that is all I'm going to cover on this, because we've gone over 20 minutes, so I don't want to make it too long. Hopefully you've had a nice little introduction to the basic HTML file structure, the use of internal CSS, or as it's sometimes called embedded. So let me take that out of there now and put that all in here. And so I've got it into this file instead as an external, but you've seen it as an embedded file as well. Okay, now if I wanted to put these styles to the left, because they're all on the, indented from the previous file, you can just decrease. So it's actually shift and tab, you'll see. So shift tab, so it's tab to move it, shift tab to move it back. Save that and remove the style tags, because we want to keep it quite simple. So doc type HTML5, that's referring to, it's a HTML file. This is the head section, which you will see my title there. This is the body section. You can quite easily see where the start and end is, so click on start and end tags just to make sure they're all there. Okay, tidy it all up, make sure it's neat, make sure it's all indented well. So these are the list items for this. Don't have them all let's show you, don't have them like that all squashed together. Make sure they're nicely indented, and then just take away all the spaces you don't need, just to tidy it up a bit. And there you'll see a nice, very neat web page with the styling. So not much, I know. Without the style sheet, that's what it would look like. Okay, so I just need to put the folder back in, remember? So to actually refer back to my style sheet because I've placed it in a folder now. So that's what it looks like without the style sheet. That's what it looks like with. You can have different style sheets and swap and change, and we can use JavaScript to switch between different style sheets, so it's perfect. It's a good way of doing your websites. So that's it. Hopefully you've had a nice little introduction to website design using CSS. Now we haven't done layout yet, so that's the next thing that we're going to do.